My journey today takes me to Napa Valley, home to Chimney Rock Winery. Here the wine is made from estate grapes, meaning everything's local. Art plays an important role here, and to find out why, I'm meeting up with my good friend John Terlato, whose family owns Chimney Rock. Hey, John!
Hey, Christy.
So good to see you. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me out here today. This estate is gorgeous. I love this architecture.
It's the only South African Cape Dutch architecture in Napa Valley. The winery was founded by a South African couple in 1983, and they built this beautiful building.
I know that you make exquisite wine here, and I hear that you also celebrate the arts.
We do. We think that great art, like great wine, can be provocative. So the moment that people kind of walk up and see the architecture and walk through the door, we're trying to provoke thought. We're trying to have them have an interesting experience. So we have an artist here today who's installed a show of her works, and you're going to get to meet her today. She's in the winery, and we can go in and start our fun.
Fantastic. I can't wait. Let's go.
Fantastic.
So lovely in here.
Fantastic. Meet my friend and artist, Renee Schuler.
Hi, Renee. Good
Works
to meet
are
you.
being shown at Chimney Rock right now.
Your artwork is beautiful. I would love to have you tell more about it.
Thank you. I'd love to show you some of my favorite pieces.
Okay, well that would be great, but before we do that, we have to walk around with a glass of wine.
That's a great idea.
Fantastic.
John, what are you pouring for us today?
We're going to start with our Chimney Rock Stag's Leap District Cabernet Sauvignon.
I can't wait to taste it.
It's going to be delicious, I promise you. 1, 2. Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome.
Oh, that's lovely. So now that we have our wine, should we look at some art?
Let's go.
Renee Romero Schuler is a Chicago-based artist working in multimedia techniques.
This show is called Cameo. I sculpt the figures onto the canvas, kind of in the same way that cameos were created. They were sculpted. But also because I have several different styles of work in this show, all of them sort of making a cameo appearance for the very first time.
What types of different pieces do you have in the show?
I have bronze sculptures, I have steel wire sculptures, I have oil paintings, I have works on paper, India inks, mixed media. I've never shown them in one place before.
Renee, this piece really speaks to me. Can you tell me about it?
Sure. I try to convey a sense of strength and peace and serenity, and I try to convey all of that through the technique.
What technique do you use?
Well, I only use a palette knife when I paint, and I apply multiple layers of paint, and I kind of apply it, and I take it back, and I scratch and hack at the surface just to create a bit of tension on there.
Texture and combination of colors is a hallmark of Renee's work. Renee, these 3 pieces are also lovely. What was your inspiration for them?
At the time I painted these, I had a show that was moving from Paris to Greece, and so I was inspired by the colors of Greece, and I was using fashion models as my muses for the work, and I just created this triptych for that exhibition.
Triptych being the 3 pieces.
Exactly.
Gorgeous. Being that we're at a winery, Renee painted a series of wine bottles. It's for a special collaboration with John Terlato called The Artist and the Artisan.
We were talking about her art and our art, ours being inside the bottle, hers being more visible. And so I thought maybe you can put some original works of art on the outside of the bottles. Our art will be on the inside.
Renee painted 14 bottles, including one 3-liter large format bottle.
I didn't realize the complexity of painting on glass. Renee did, but she agreed to do it anyway. And then she proceeded to do all of the things that she needed to do to prepare the bottles for her paintings.
Can you tell me what that preparation involved?
It's a bit of a process. You have to etch the glass. So I used a chemical etch on the glass first, and then I used a self-etching primer to go on next. And then it's just multiple layers of acrylic paint. Acrylic is just really, really durable, so that's the material that I used. And then varnish.
Oh, you varnished them at the end.
I did, and these will last forever.
It gives a lovely shine to it. I think I can't imagine actually opening it though.
The bottle will last forever.
That's
the wine won't.
A focal point of the show is a large canvas called Hope. Renee says she paints in an abstract style.
That's very deliberate because that way people can look at the piece and put themselves in the piece and feel the empowerment of the work and the energy that's intended to come through.
Renee curated the show and chose where she wanted to display each work of art.
I wanted it to feel like it was art being shown in somebody's home.
It does have a delightfully homey feel here. John's family, his father Anthony and brother Bill, have owned Chimney Rock since 2004. Both his grandfathers began as wine retailers in Chicago.
My father joined the company, his father's retail store in 1955, and had this dream that someday he wanted to be a winemaker. So he went from the retail business in Chicago to wholesale, to import to export to winery ownership in about 40 years.
It's amazing, he really followed his dream.
He did. He realized his dream in 1996 when we purchased our first winery, and then we purchased Chimney Rock shortly thereafter, and today we're making wines as a family.
Right. It's all about family traditions with you, as well as the quality, and keeping it going in the family and really nurturing the brand, the quality of the wine, the vineyards, all of that, right?
Our mantra as a family is the quality endures, and we believe that really high quality things are potentially multi-generational.
That's why art is so important to John, inside or outside the bottle.
What we're trying to do with our wines, when people put our wines to their lips and they taste them, is to make them think about it, right? To make them think about a place, to make them think about something that they're tasting. I think art's very much the same way. So is music, and so is architecture.
Well, the wine has tickled my palate, and the art has been food for my eyes. I couldn't have enjoyed myself more.
Cheers.
Go to ChristyDowningrocks.com.